received the call, and time just kind of slowed down.
Something said, answer this call.
Maybe I got it. Maybe they were telling me that I was really close.
Esther said, hi, Candace, it's Esther, and I knew.
I was humbled, I was verge of tears.
I was definitely shocked. I was hugely overwhelmed.
I sat down the hallway and I cried, ugly crying for a bit.
I was definitely jumping up and
I wanted to dance, I wanted to cry, I wanted to fall on the ground. Yeah, it was crazy.
I was like, oh my God, hold on.
It's amazing.
I was like, what just happened? What? But at the same time, feeling grounded.
It was like I was in a little space bubble.
It was a really surreal feeling.
I still feel like I'm kind of floating a bit.
That just made things, I think, a little magical.
There was a little bit of weepiness and a great amount of joy, and I already knew how it was going to immediately affect my life in a very, very good way.
Barak Ade Soleil. I make dance, theater, and performance art. The space for dance is, for me, a space in which I am able to really articulate how my body moves in a particular way and the necessity of the reflection of my kind of body. I'm interested in nuances. I'm not just interested in the binaries, the kind of ways in which we think about what a particular body does or how it moves. In the world of creating work, you get the opportunity to liberate, to deconstruct, to break down the notions of what a certain kind of body may do or look like. I'm interested in defining it and defying it. I look at how my body moves as it needs to, not as I'm trying to make it happen. Folks with disabilities are always doing extraordinary things in the most ordinary situations. All the things that we may take for granted, I recognize that now through the calibration and understanding of how my bodies move, that for me becomes the choreography.
Jo Cattell, theatre maker. I am drawn to other artists and their ideas and then my ideas and then how we can create and collaborate together to create work. My work is very much about building community. Once that community is strong and we are all vibing, then we really create exciting work. Standing as an individual in theatre, I think, is set up for failure. That theatre is so much more than just being on stage now. We really do need to figure out how we can work together with artists of all disciplines to really, stretch the form and change it. That's really what is at the heart of what I do. And so that's meant that I've worked with puppeteers and that I've been able to work with interesting composers and sound designers and rap artists and people that can bring a different kind of element perhaps to the work that just seems right for what we're creating in that moment. I don't think art should have any limits. It can be anything. It's like, yeah, this is where this project is at the moment and what this project really needs is and why not?
Alexandria Eregbu, interdisciplinary artist. I think being a teaching artist is about humbling yourself in a lot of ways and being open to the learning process, not only for the people that you work with, but yourself as well. What I really work hard to do is to meet my teens where they're at and provide the resources for them to be the young leaders that they want to be in the world. Youth empowerment is important in the sense that I want them to know that it's really possible to do the things that I'm doing, if not more, right now. I think for a lot of my teens prior to coming into the program, art, it's not something that they feel like is useful in an everyday sense. For me, it's been the conduit of me being able to move through all these spaces, right? Like, I'm not only an educator, I'm also a curator, I also serve as a programmer. I want them to understand that art can be a tool used to exist in all of these different spaces. Art for me has helped bridge the gap in thinking about how I can consider other possibilities outside of the box that's been given to me.
William Estrada, teaching artist. For the past 10 years, I've been doing street workshops where I just drive around and pull out a table from the back of my van, set up, and just try and convince people to do free art with me and my kids. I'm a certified art teacher, but I really, really wanted to teach out in the neighborhood. It's those people that I'm really, really interested in talking to and working with. I have a hard time separating my work as a visual artist as a teacher because I think they're the same thing. We're creating this space for us to learn from each other. It helps us reimagine the world that we want to be in, and the community that we want to create for ourselves. Everywhere that we go with this mobile art cart, people are really excited. It's amazing to feel the love that's being generated by the community to a stranger that just wants to create art with them. That has been beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. Getting like teary-eyed right now. I'm humbled by the experience. It just makes me realize how much more work needs to be done, and I'm excited to do the work.
Jess Godwin, singer-songwriter. I struggled a lot as a kid in school, and drawing or writing a poem or writing a short story was kind of my out. As I got older and I got more familiar with music, writing music was the best way for me to really articulate what I was feeling. I love melodies. For me, it's like taking words to the next level. Strong man, not to me. When you're in a musical and people are talking and all of a sudden you sprout into song, it's not a random thing. It's because words aren't enough anymore. I just wanted to make stuff. But I did understand that in order to sustain making stuff, I had to find a way of making what I do financially viable. I had to get into the industry.
I should be happy, everything's falling in place.
With the music industry, it was just always like, all right, so what's your look? I had a lot of men hovering above me saying, like, we can't do anything with the music until you look right. It was like a brand. Like, are you the sexy one? Are you the tomboy? Are you the awkward one? That put me in a really tough spot creatively.
Oh, I wish I knew about a one-way ticket out.
I'd always, hired people to produce me and paid people to produce me. It was like, well, what happens if I produce it myself? And it was easier than I thought it would be.
Oh, you playing wrong and right on.
It's kind of amazing when you find out that you actually can do a lot of things. It was so exciting to be able to make without censoring myself and be like, it doesn't matter what I look like or it looks like or it sounds like, because everything comes from a pure place and a place of love, and like that's all that matters with art.
Candace Hunter, visual artist. The thought of being an artist was a very frightening thing to my mother. She was just like, no, you need a profession. And art is not it. So I was a religious ed major. And then I said, without my mother knowing, I could do a double major. I could do this art thing and something that would lead to a career. I hope that all of the work that I have has very specific messages. I hope that it's clearly read. I hope that there's no, oh, well, I think it means this. No, I wanted to say exactly what I wanted to say. I tell stories that are mirrors of moments in history or moments in politics or moments in the growth of humanity. So it's always about the storytelling, and it's always about truth-telling. I try to make pretty. It's not always pretty, but I try to make pretty. I'm a storyteller at heart.
Ayako Kato, dancer and choreographer. I left dancing ballet when I was 19. At that moment, I was wondering whether I should continue. Then I decided to quit so that I can be more useful for others. I was asked, why do you dance? And I said to myself, if I allow me to dance, I need to express this furu. Furu is very complicated notion, influenced by traditional Japanese aesthetics. The notion is, I'm living in this moment, which never comes back again. And this is such ephemeral as well as precious moment. This bottom line of what is this moment? This is what we need now in this hectic lifestyle. This is not just ancient notion, but this could be shared with all of us.
Maggie Popadiak, theater maker. I make theater with young people. We create original, devised theater based on lived experience. They, too, are part of a community of people who, too, have suffered, who have overcome great obstacles. They become empowered. They become active and engaged citizens who want to know who's in charge, know who's in power, and question authority.
Here's a question for all of you. How many of you have been to the public aid office?
I needed an escape as a kid. I needed to be immersed in something that wasn't really home life. And as a high school student, I joined Albany Park Theater Project. My father passed away when I was young, leaving my mom to be the sole breadwinner. She fell into an alcoholic depression. She was an undocumented immigrant and feared authority and feared that she was going to be deported. It was through telling our story and sharing it on the stage that we were able to heal as a family. Healing was really important, and I didn't know that theater can do that at that age. Theater has the power to heal families, heal wounds, to celebrate life and people and our humanity. There are moments where I'm in the room and I remember the genesis of the seed of the idea, whether it was from the words of the storyteller or an idea that a young person had, and then seeing it under the lights and seeing them, rise above and seeing them in the beauty and people being awed by that. That's what I love about directing.
Tamika Reed, improvising cellist. I write music, I perform on cello, I teach, I'm wearing a hat. I guess I feel like I wear many hats. I used to have a huge stage fright. I come from a classical background where it's like, you practice for like 4 months and then you have the big recital. When you're improvising, it's like people are seeing you work out ideas and you're doing this in public. I just enjoyed the freedom outside of the classical canon. It can be frustrating because you're like, I hear this idea and you want to execute it and sometimes it doesn't come out, but it pushes you to keep trying to find out how to get that idea out, and I like that pursuit. I like the discovery that happens through improvisation, having this musical dialogue that keeps things fresh. So I like that.
Aram Han Sifuentes, fiber artist. A lot of my work is about immigration, the rhetoric around immigration, how we're treated in the United States. I'm not a citizen, so I've been feeling a lot of fear. It's just frightening to see so much racism. And so that really is sad and it's scary, but that's really fueling my practice right now. From far away, some of the work kind of looks like really blurry or fuzzy. Because I talk about invisible labor, it's important that people recognize the handwork, even though it's like so minimal. People walk up close to it to see the really fine stitches. Hopefully that carries over, right, to looking at like things in the everyday and to kind of recognize that like these things are made by people, capturing the stories behind these people. That's what I've been trying to do in my practice. I think there's like so ingrained in me this like work ethic of feeling like something's rewarding when it takes really long and it's really tedious. At the end, the things become powerful for me, like kind of imbued with that labor and my handwork. And I'm like, yeah, this is where I want it to be, even though it took me a whole year to do it.
I've been working for a long time. And sometimes you want to give up. You want to go, why am I doing this? But of course, what else do you do when it is you?
I could be finally admit it's okay, Ayako. You can be dancing. And you can keep creating. Oh, thank you so much.
As a single mother artist, the biggest thing is that it gives me and my child security for a year. Just being able to create art, like get up and write the play, rehearse, that's amazing.
It made me think of the things that I wanted to do that now it's possible.
I can continue to grow my projects without compromise.
This award, it means a lot.
I'm honored to be part of this cohort of 3 Arts awardees.
I just wish there were more opportunities for more artists out there like this.
It's quite unique. The money is dope. It's nothing like it. This is the award right now.
There are people in this world, in Chicago, who make it a priority to fund art because art is powerful.
It made me feel like I need to kick some ass so I can reach back and help other people.
I'm fueled, so let's go get stuff done. I want to start it already. I hope that was okay.